Just toward the casual theories of male homosexuality was written by Michael J. Engel, Joseph A. McFalls Jr., Bernard J. Gallagher III, and Kristen Curtis. This article was published in the American Sociologist Journal in the spring of 2006, volume 37, issue 1. The thesis which states, this article gauges the relative support for these two models within sociology by assessing the opinions of sociologists in general, and not just those who specialize in human sexuality. This leads to the main question of which model is more accurate in the attitudes of theories, the essentialist model or the constructive model. The essentialist model basically states that there are underlying factors which causes these discontinuity between homo and heterosexuals, whereas the constructive model states that there are more scientific approaches to the understanding of homosexuality. The hypothesis basically is comparing the two models and the research behind them. Researchers are working more to understand which model is best for the descriptions of the researchers' attitudes of homosexual males. Although the constructive model tends to be more favored between the researchers, and the essentialist model seems to be the one that is more publicized within journals. The main variables within this research is the core causation of the homosexual identity and its origins, and the dependent variable would be the effects in its placement into these subcategories of genetic inheritance, hormonal development, and the differences within the hypothalamic structures in the brain. The next step is to compare the psychiatric and sociological opinions of the cause of homosexuality. The psychiatric opinion is one of which that may have the idea of the causes are driven from deep urges within our unconscious mind. The data obtained was done so by random sampling of the members of the American Psychiatric Association, and their responses were placed on a scale of 1 to 5. A mean number of 2.996 of over 500 participants agreed that the top cause of homosexuality is genetically inherited. With the use of existing sources, they were able to conclude that homosexuality is a learned sexual behavior. The main data within the research was obtained from an anonymous questionnaire that was sent out to a variety of sociologists that are teachers within the colleges and universities around the country. These department teachers are provided by the Index of Majors and Graduate Degrees. The surveyors received a high response rate, which they hoped for, of about 93%. And of these 93%, 59% favored the essentialist model. There were no ethical concerns besides a conflict of interest due to the respondents' political party, even though they did not acknowledge it in the initial survey. By making the questionnaire optional, they maintained the privacy needed to answer the material, and there were no trace of the respondents' age or sex. All the information was anonymous and with full confidentiality. This study would most likely interest any sociologist due to its massive comparison and influences of the multiple schools of thought, such as functionalist and the conflict theory. These many schools of thought are what many believe influence the response of the many participants. On the other side of the spectrum, social and behavior scientists would most likely be interested in the conflict of, is homosexuality a trait, a choice, or a learned behavior? Basically, what is the main influence of this certain behavior? Researchers did an overall good job of obtaining data. The only thing they could have done is gone further in depth. They should have taken this opportunity and obtained data through a survey of the growing homosexual population and used their reasoning for the sexuality choice and then used that to compare it to the original data that they had. A survey is the only main way to obtain the data in this theory due to the opinionated nature of it. An experiment would only work by studying the brain and tissue of two men who are almost identical in nature, but one is heterosexual and one is homosexual. This article is important due to its growing nature of homosexuality. This research can be used to help others understand the lifestyle choice of many Americans in society today, and see that it is not something that is a trait, but more of a lifestyle choice. My field of study is yet to be determined, but it would most likely have to do with public relations in either the health or education field. This article and many others like it are able to educate many and be used to have a better, unbiased opinion of homosexuality. This way, society can be more open and understanding, and hopefully limit the core issues homosexuals face in their daily lives. Thank you.